There's something I want to talk about that is something that I've learned throughout the last couple of years. As a person in his 50s, I found it quite surprising. I found it quite sad too. And that is that people around my age, there are people, not some people around my age act like they're still in high school, right? Like, I don't know if you've run into people like this, but the last couple of years I have, and I think because I started a relationship, I've been kind of more isolated since my separation. I'm going through a divorce right now, but and I've actually been around. I like to think of myself as a social guy. I like going to events, weddings, parties, restaurants, right? I like doing stuff like that. But here's the thing. One thing I've learned, especially these last couple of years, is that I've been exposed to certain people. I've met even certain people that act like they're not in their 50s. Like wisdom is still waiting for them to let them in. They are very immature in their thinking. They talk like they're still in high school. They act like they're still in high school. Heck, I think a couple of them even dress like they're still in high school. I'm not saying we should wear, baggy clothes or gym clothes or whatever because they're comfortable. They are, but I'm not saying not to be, fashionable, but I think what's happened here is that there are people that I've come across and met that I'll give you an example. There have been occasions when, and this is no offense to any women, but guys have done this too. I've seen it. There are women who kind of like to still compete for a guy's attention in their 50s. They could be single and they're probably out there, I don't know their life situation. I can't judge that. But it's the how of it, not so much the what of it. They act ridiculous. Like they give ugly looks, they give bad stares, they pretend to not care, but they do. And you can see it a mile away. One of my issues, one of the things about me is that I didn't see it initially because I don't look for it. My experiences these last couple of years have shown me to be more aware of it, and now I see it. Sometimes I still don't see it, but what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of people my age that need to grow up. They really need to grow up, man. Like, come on, stop acting like that, okay? Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I've learned, right? And this is in general. I'm not going to speak about my personal situation or anything like that, but in general, that if you're alone, if you're a guy and you're by yourself, and you try to meet women at, say, a club or a bar or whatever, and they kind of turn you down, you're in a restaurant, whatever, he's kind of by himself or whatever. Same guy comes back months later with a beautiful woman by his side, and all of a sudden, all these women are like flirty, giving dirty looks to the woman you're with, and doing things like that. What is that about? You're 50 something, not 15. Okay? Like I used to watch this kind of stuff on teen movies back in the 80s. And now I'm seeing it in front of me in full blown color. These, and sometimes they come in twos or threes. They walk in like, on Wednesdays they wear pink. It's ridiculous. And I'm like thinking to my and the guys. Don't get me started on the guys. The guys are, ooh, they, speaking as a man, it's shameful to say. That's how the fellow members of my same sex don't know how to act. Okay, they try to move up on a woman, even if they're being very clear they don't want to talk to them. They'd be like, well, why not? And they're very persistent. They're very pushy. They think they're just playing hard to get. And it gets not only disrespectful, but quite offensive. Okay. It's offensive to the woman that's trying to stop. And it's demeaning, not just, honestly, it's only really demeaning to the guy doing it because it kind of like denigrates their character in front of people because other people are seeing it. What's wrong with that guy, right? And these are guys not in their 20s, not in their 30s, not in their teens. They're in their 50s. They're middle aged. They're in the halfway. They're in halftime. We're in halftime, and there are guys around my age acting like this. What the hell is that about? I'm not saying that there's a way to relate to people and to work and be okay in a social setting and not act like you're 95 and grumpy. I am saying act your age. Use and apply the lessons of the last few decades of your life and apply them to your current situation so that you can not only be better as a person, but that you can contribute better to your community, to your family, to your friends, you know? Like, take what you have learned and go to the next level and be, more of the kind of person God made you to be. Not this sad, pathetic, middle-aged man trying to hit on even younger girls. I've seen that. Younger women in their 20s, and these guys are in their 50s and 60s hitting up on them and stuff like that. And me having studied as a counselor certain things, I know there is a fear of death in some of them, not all, some of them, where that expression of an older man looking for younger women, even married men, cheat on their wives, and then they go look for, they're looking around. They look for Eta and this woman and for me, it's my observation of that is that they have a subconscious fear of death. They're dying. They're in the back of their heads. They're saying, "I'm dying. I don't have much time left in this world. I got to get as much as I can before I go." And the women around my age, just ain't gonna cut it because the younger ones make them feel younger. Okay, and that is really sad. I never thought, and when my divorce process started, I didn't think I was ever gonna get into a long-term relationship with anybody anymore. I thought it was over, but the last few, 2 years especially, have proven me wrong. I'm with somebody who is around my age, and she is very mature. She's very articulate. She doesn't play games. She doesn't do that high school crap. She knows what she wants, and we communicate so well. We have such a communicative life with each other that there is no doubt that this is someone I definitely want to be with for the long haul, for the all the way. And a lot of that has to do with who she is as a person. And both her and I observe and see others acting pretty much the complete opposite. They gossip, they squabble amongst each other, they compete for each other's attention. One envies the other, one covets what the other has or who the other has. And to see that happening in our age group is embarrassing. It's a shame. And I just want to put that out there. I want to find out. I'm the reason why I'm sharing this is because I think this is a real issue amongst our community. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, to be honest with you, because I'm still kind of learning about it. I'm Puerto Rican, right? But I think it kind of goes crosses and overlaps into various different cultures and ethnicities. I don't even think it's a Latino thing. I think it's an everybody thing, in my opinion. And these people might even be very good and effective in their careers, in their jobs, and stuff like that, and where you don't really see that. But then when they go into the social world of hanging out at lounges, at bars, at restaurants, at parties and things like that, that's when you start seeing it. That's when you start wondering what did he say? Why is he looking at her like that? Ew, she's like mad younger than him. That's gross, right? So I'm like trying to understand that. So it's weird. It's something that I think for those of you who don't think you're that way, but you're that way, you need to really start like looking in the mirror and start like reconsidering your current life situation and how you can better that, because it's not impressive. Nobody's impressed. People are embarrassed. I sure as a hell am embarrassed when I see it. And I'm gonna be going out in a few hours myself, and I'm $1 million bet I'm gonna be seeing some guy or girl acting the fool around my age like that, like we're still in the high school cafeteria or at a nightclub in Manhattan back in 1993 or something like that, where they're just trying to like compete each other, and try to move up and that. Stop. I'm not saying act old. I'm saying act wisely, because age and wisdom don't necessarily go hand in hand, but time and wisdom do. And we've spent enough time on this planet, my fellow middle-agers, okay? We've spent enough time on this planet to have obtained certain levels of wisdom by which we can apply to not only better ourselves, but to maybe even make a difference to other people and establish good relationships with others, even intimate ones. Like in my case, 2 years ago, a beautiful woman, Regina, walked into my life, and it's been an amazing journey, and it's a story that we're continuing to write. But there's no, scandalous nonsense, and but we see other people going through it, and it's weird. So it's just weird to me. So yeah, 50, being in your 50s, seeing this kind of stuff is kind of embarrassing. Have you seen it? I'm curious. Comment below. Talk to me about what you have seen. If you're in my age, I'm 57. I'm pushing 60, and you've seen this kind of immature behavior by people around your same age. Let me know about it. Please tell me I'm not the only one seeing this here. Okay? I know there are other people that are seeing it too and saying, what is wrong with these people? So for those of you who are watching this, please let me know. I wanna hear from you. All right? So this is Ralph, 50 and forward, moving forward. God bless you guys.